According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, cooking refers to the preparation of food for eating, especially by means of heat. Food, as a necessity to sustain life, has incorporated cooking in every race through the course of history, where it has evolved from its inception to become an ubiquitous activity for every culture, according to Lawton. Now, through acting on the need to survive and the benefits it provides, the experience of cooking branched throughout history, making the action of cooking a unique experience for every culture.
As defined by Macer, experience is defined as the active participation in events or activities, which leads to accumulation of knowledge. Therefore, cooking as the human experience, present in every culture, roots itself as a single homogeneous taproot, absorbing but also adapting to the diversity of its surroundings, and creating a manifestation of branches through history. With this experience, the prevalence of cooking in every culture has resulted in the emergence of different cuisines influenced by circumstantial factors.
Meanwhile, some cooking experiences are harder to describe due to the complex and heterogeneous nature of the cuisines. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, the Philippine society is a unique blend of diversity and homogeneity. The Philippines' broad and extensive culture has a lot to do with the different nations who went to visit the Philippines, and in the process influenced its locale.
Filipino cuisine is heterogeneous in nature. It defies any singular characterization. It fuses Asian and European influences. The complexity of Filipino cuisine is prominent in one of its staple dishes, adobo. With the many variations of it existing, adobo is a diverse dish that utilizes any available ingredient that can be used to cook it. In most Filipino households, cooking adobo is a crucial and indispensable experience. According to Chef Ami Mabesa, no two people in the same household will cook the same adobo. This shows that Filipino cuisine, with adobo as an integral part of it, is an example of a complex cuisine whose overall cooking experience cannot be easily characterized. Because of this, the Filipino cuisine couldn't project a stronger image that could possibly propel Filipino dishes up the international kitchen.
The foundation of the grounded theory, this study aims to answer the problem: what abstraction can be developed from the experience of Filipino cooks in cooking adobo? The findings of this research could contribute to the Filipino cuisine by assisting it in establishing a strong image as a cuisine for it to flourish in the world's culinary scene. Another would be that the findings could provide additional notes on the homogenization of the experience of cooking adobo and provide the Filipino cuisine with a much more definite characteristic of Filipino food by developing a tourism campaign proposal that involves adobo and the Filipino cooks to develop an adobo and Filipino cooks tourism campaign that will be proposed to the Department of Tourism that aims to promote adobo as the signature dish of the Philippines and to promote the different flavors of Filipino cuisine and the talented Filipino cooks.
Our study required a qualitative research in the form of a grounded theory. Our study is in the form of a qualitative research because according to Hancock and Oakleford, it aims to help us understand the social world in which we live in and why things are the way they are. Since our study aims to develop an abstraction from the experience of Filipino cooks in cooking adobo.
A qualitative research is less structured in description because it formulates and builds new theories. Thus, a grounded theory, which is an inductive method used to develop a theory. That way, it coheres with how the study analyzes how cooking the adobo reflects the Philippines. Our group made use of inductive methods such as consultation, interview, and immersion.
In selecting our core researchers, we considered the following criteria. First, a Filipino born and raised who live in the Philippines for most of their life so that the data to gather would come from the instilled manifestation of the culture and traditions in the Philippines. Second, having no less than 5 years of cooking experience since it takes at least 2 years to master a dish. And lastly, having expertise in their adopted dish home cook or for commercial purposes so that they may be able to provide detailed explanations and insights on the experience of cooking adobo and the techniques and behaviors that Filipino cooks have developed.
During the span of the interviews and immersions, 24 researchers shared their experience and expertise with us. 15 of them are home cooks, 1 is a professional cook, and 4 cooks for home business, all of which agreed to consent letters or verbal consent requests personally through call or emails, giving the researchers permission to have an appointment, an interview along with audio and video recordings for documentation prior to later collection. The researcher assured that all expenses would be paid willingly. All the documentations, transcripts regarding the co-researchers' identities are being kept at utmost confidentiality. Regarding the instrumentations and data collection, the media we have used for collecting the data for our study are immersions and interviews. Immersions refer to the deep personal involvement of the researchers with the object of study, as it will enable the researchers to experience the cooking process together with the co-researchers, to analyze and examine every detail and each step of the process of cooking the dish.
An interview, on the other hand, is a conversational way of gathering information that would allow the researchers to understand the reasoning, emotions, behavior, actions, and the verbal and nonverbal cues that come with the responses in a face-to-face interview, as it is more focused on the co-researcher. An interview would also grant the researchers control over the flow of dialogue.
Once the permission for an immersion has been obtained, the researchers will then settle an appointment time and the place of immersion with the co-researcher. After that, the researchers would then observe the demonstration of the cooking process while asking questions regarding the study.
Familiarization further deepens when the Filipino cooks explore their understanding of the nature and cooking process of the dish. The concept of familiarization within the cooking process of adobo is not limited to Filipinos, for it can also be encountered by others through the continuous exploration of the nature of the dish and the different cooking processes of adobo. Familiarization in Filipino cooks are both inherent due to them being Filipino and an effort done by the cooks by continuously exploring adobo as a dish. This abstraction is a manifestation of the experience of Filipino cooks that runs to their identity as a Filipino, where they have been exposed to the general nature of the dish by tasting the dish repeatedly, and being exposed to the different cooking methods leading them to develop an acquaintance with the general form of the dish. A Filipino cook also encounters familiarization by being acquainted with the steps, process, ingredients, the different possible variations that adobo entails, and other information about it. Through this broad understanding of adobo, one gains the knowledge to master the cooking of adobo.
Individualization is derived from the cook's experience of cooking adobo. This is because the concept of individualization happens when the cooks realize and explore their connection to the dish. Their connection to the dish is inherent because food is an essential part of their cultural identity and cultural heritage. According to Yakat, Filipino-ness is deeply integrated in the Filipino and has become personal and personalized, which can only be realized in kilos or behavior and concretized in gawa or habit. This means that loob can manifest itself only through some form of externalization. In this case, the Filipino-ness of Filipino cooks' connection to adobo can only manifest through the process of cooking the dish and exploring what it signifies to the cook. Improvisation. Filipino cooks have encountered improvisation in their experience of cooking adobo through the process of use and exploration of the different cooking methods, ingredients, and tools that can be utilized in cooking adobo. Filipino cooks exhibit improvisation by using different ingredients that are not present within the known and or mainstream variant. This happens under many different circumstances one of which was described by a respondent, wherein when they are asked why string beans were used in their variant of adobo, they answered that probably there was an abundance of string beans or string beans was in season. This is also connected to a reply of another researcher when one of the respondents stated that the reason why they added coconut milk to their variant was because the region where the abundance of coconuts. This shows that the circumstances why Filipino cooks have used different ingredients is because they usually make use of what is available and abundant. Another circumstances where improvisation is manifested is when they want to enhance the nutritional quality of the dish by using ingredients that contain more nutrients. Filipino cooks also improvise when they use leftover ingredients and materials in their adobo to reduce the amount of waste and efficiently use the resources that are present.
Exploration serves as the bridge between the three abstractions of the experience of cooking adobo. The three abstractions, familiarization, improvisation, and individualization, really characterize the experience of Filipino cooks in cooking adobo. These concepts are further deepened so that they characterize an experience that happens within the lifetime of the Filipino cook as they cook adobo. Exploration here is perceived as the driving force for the Filipino cooks to expand the experience in cooking adobo.
Without the concept of exploration, the concepts would have no connection to each other, therefore halting the cook in their experience of cooking adobo. Another reason why exploration serves as the driving force for the experience of cooking Filipino adobo is that through exploration, the cooks are able to reflect on the three abstractions to create a more profound experience of the cooking of Filipino adobo.
Exploration may either be a conscious or unconscious action taken by the Filipino cook, but with exploration, it bridges the gaps between the three abstractions and it also extensively drives the experience of the Filipino cooks in cooking adobo.
Individualization is derived from the cook's experience of cooking adobo. This is because the concept of individualization happens when the cooks realize and explore their connection to the dish. Their connection to the dish is inherent because food is an essential part of their cultural identity and cultural heritage. According to Yakad, Filipino-ness is deeply integrated in the Filipino and has become personal and personalized, which can only be realized in kilos or behavior and concretized in gawa or habit. This means that loob can manifest itself only through some form of externalization. In this case, the Filipino-ness of Filipino cooks' connection to adobo can only manifest through the process of cooking the dish and exploring what it signifies to the cook.
Individualization. With cooking adobo, the researcher's experience being brought back to a certain point in their life where adobo was significantly relevant. Furthermore, the cooks mentioned that they feel emotional fulfillment to see the people they cooked for show satisfaction, which increases their confidence in cooking. According to therapy art culinary Julie Ohana, there's a tremendous amount of confidence boosting and self-esteem boosting performing an act like cooking for others.
Familiarization further deepens when the Filipino cooks explore their understanding of the nature and cooking process of the dish. The concept of familiarization within the cooking process of adobo is not limited to Filipinos, for it can also be encountered by others through the continuous exploration of the nature of the dish and the different cooking processes of adobo. Familiarization in Filipino cooks are both inherent due to them being Filipino and an effort done by the cooks by continuously exploring adobo as a dish.
This abstraction is a manifestation of the experience of Filipino cooks that runs to their identity as a Filipino, where they have been exposed to the general nature of the dish by tasting the dish repeatedly, and being exposed to the different cooking methods leading them to develop an acquaintance with the general form of the dish.
A Filipino cook also encounters familiarization by being acquainted with the steps, process, ingredients, the different possible variations that adobo entails, and other information about it. Through this broad understanding of adobo, one gains the knowledge to master the cooking of adobo.
Improvisation. Along with the rich natural resources across the Philippines, the resourcefulness of Filipinos has presented options for cooks to modify the dish according to their preference or depending on the need for practicality in the situation. But it is important to note that all of these things are logical substitutions that can be made without changing the dish according to Vetri and Joaquin. This factor is because altering the dish can drastically remove the very essence and core of the dish, its identity. This is the kind of understanding that gives us respect for tradition in cuisine, but it also leaves the door open to innovation, according to Vetri and Joaquin. Exploration may either be a conscious or unconscious action taken by the Filipino cook, but with exploration, it bridges the gaps between the three abstractions, and it also extensively drives the experience of the Filipino cooks in cooking adobo.
Food has so many changing variables that absolute consistency is impossible. A certain region has made a certain dish a certain way for so many years that changing it is unheard of, much like the belief that Italian food traditions are anchored in familiarity. Now, geographically considering that the Philippines is an archipelago formed by approximately 7,107 islands, and that the Philippines' way of life and sensibility is being enriched too by foreign cultures. This diversity can really be most evident in the way Filipinos cook and eat. Related to this statement, the experience of cooking adobo was changed naturally through the course of time, but despite these changes, Filipino cooks are still able to master and be familiar with the said variant of adobo.
Improvisation. Along with the rich natural resources across the Philippines, the resourcefulness of Filipinos has presented options for cooks to modify the dish according to their preference or depending on the need for practicality in the situation. But it is important to note that all of these things are logical substitutions that can be made without changing the dish according to Vetri and Joaquin. This factor is because altering the dish can drastically remove the very essence and core of the dish, its identity. This is the kind of understanding that gives us respect for tradition in cuisine, but it also leaves the door open to innovation, according to Vetri and Joaquin. Exploration bridges the abstractions that are individualization, familiarization, and improvisation. Within the three abstractions, exploration is embedded. Without exploration, the three aforementioned abstractions are just separate concepts. Through exploration, the Filipino cooks are able to connect and make sense of their experiences with individualization, familiarization, and improvisation. According to Cambridge Dictionary, exploration is the activity of searching and finding out about something. With the process of exploration, the Filipino cooks were able to find out something about themselves through the process of cooking adobo, and repeating the process, they were able to achieve a sense of familiarity.
The grapevine model of the Filipino cook's experience in cooking adobo shows that the experience of cooking adobo is not measurable and that the beginning and the end cannot be specified. But as the urge of exploration grows, the experience of Filipino cooks in cooking adobo will continue on with one's mastery of the dish through challenging and exploring through their familiarity, exploring his or her personal connection with adobo through individualization, and also exploring with the balance of utilizing their skill and practicality and resourcefulness through improvisation.